Here it is, guys, in all its glory. This is Darth Jar Jar. I am joined by Ethan from TagMods.
Hey guys.
How you doing?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Great, guys. This was a build that took so long. It was honestly too long to make this build.
Yeah.
And today we're going to go through the behind-the-scenes story about Darth Jar Jar, because Ethan basically did all the hard work when it came to doing a custom mod like this, because there's so many different things that he's going to explain today that went into this build that I'm not capable of doing. And it's just been, the final products obviously came out so well that I'm just looking at this like, yeah, because we got two Xeons inside, two X5690s, which are the best X58 Xeons you can get. They're overclockable. They represent a day and age when manual overclocking was so good, CPUs weren't locked, and also it is a dual socket CPU motherboard, which is very rare. This is the SR2. Now, we did pick this up from a donation from a viewer called Ilna over in the USA a while ago, over a year ago now. And since I got that, I knew I had to do something super special with this build. And I owed it to you guys as well as to Ilna to do something phenomenal like this. And so Ethan was a big part of that. Yeah. Another high five. And today, what really, I guess we're gonna go through the scenes, because I went to PAX Australia, and that's when I teed up with Ethan. I posted a photo on Twitter and Instagram, I think, where I had this case go through customs, and it was just like, literally just chucked it on.
The Jetstar tape.
Because the whole thing with this build was that I've always been busy at the studio here. As a one-man band, it's always been such a challenge to keep getting content out, because the way YouTube is, it's really do or, be finished.
Yeah.
And you can't say that word on YouTube nowadays, the word, the saying.
Really?
Yeah, you get censored. And so that's the way YouTube is. And so the whole climate of YouTube is that you have to keep making content. And if you don't make content, you're gonna fall off. And so something like this takes a lot of time to do and prep. And so it was good that we finally got into this and did it. But it all started out with PAX, and we just chucked the whole build on the airport naked, and it worked. And it got through to Ethan. We also brought the SR2 down with the dual CPUs, the memory, and then we went to Ethan's house in Geelong, and that's where it all started. So
yeah. So, well, the case was in a little bit rough condition. So the first thing I had to do was to kind of clean that up. And the front panel had a couple of issues. We fixed all that up. But the hardest part of the actual entire build was getting the SR2 in the case, because it's being the dual socket motherboard. It extended the motherboard tray that was existing in the case. So I had to fully cut that out basically, and gut pretty much the entire inside of the case, which made it super structurally weak. So the whole case was just wobbling and kind of falling around everywhere. So I had to build a full reinforced panel on the back just to hold the motherboard.
Well, the thing about the EVGA SR2 is it's not even an extended ATX. It's like a special size.
Yeah,
it's bigger.
Does it have its own technical size, or?
I'm actually not. I think it's bigger than extended ATX.
Yeah, it's way bigger than extended ATX, because this is an EATX case, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And so it was just this mammoth motherboard. And of course, you don't want to go with a ginormous case, like something that's literally taller.
Like a 1000D or something like that.
Yeah, like something that's just too massive. I want something that's, believe it or not, portable.
Yeah.
Even though this case weighs in at like
it's
30,
40 kilos.
Even though it's like 40 kilo, it's really heavy. It still is technically portable. Like, you can carry it around. You
can pick it up.
Watch out for the hernia. So, and it all began when we took it over to Ethan. We were essentially, Ethan has a lot of power tools, a lot of custom gear at his place. And so
all the shiny stuff.
Yeah, and so from there you were essentially cutting out all this case, getting it ready for the SR2. That was the first step.
That was the hardest part. Yeah.
And during that time, I was prepping the graphics card, the GTX 980 Strix.
Yep.
And of course, that was a second-hand graphics card, just like the motherboard, CPUs, and a lot of these parts were second-hand.
Yes.
So if you haven't watched the feature video, guys, I'll put the link up here where I explain all parts and what went into that build. It was the showcase of the SR2. But after we got all those, the GPU ready, you wanted to vertically mount it, yeah?
Well, I felt like we kind of had to, because with the SR2 filling up so much of the backspace, that left the entire front quadrant of the case super empty. So having a GPU horizontally would have looked really weird. Yeah. Not really weird, it just would have looked empty. So rather than trying to fill up the space with something else, we just vertically mounted the GPU. that also allowed a lot more freedom with the pipes as well. So it allowed us to run all the piping in a nice, more uniform way rather than kind of everywhere.
So basically with the dual CPU configuration, was that something that you tackle a lot, or?
This is the first time I've looked at.
So this is the first like full custom modded dual CPU build.
Yeah, this is the only dual like motherboard I've ever seen.
Actually, that makes this build even that much more special, guys. I really, that actually makes me happy as well, because Ethan has done, how many custom builds have you done so far?
The big Quake Q at PAX was built 100.
Over 100 custom mods, guys. And these aren't just like, this is the thing about these mods. These are not just your standard parts off the shelf mods. These have a lot of custom, like at the back of the case here, we've got a custom slash with LED lights to really highlight that cut. And inside here, we've got, everything's just custom on this build.
Everything's custom built, from the power supply shroud to all the acrylic work on the front and on the side.
So in order to do that, you need to put a lot of extra work into your builds, right?
Yeah, it all takes time. I'm kind of in that point now where I've done that many. It's kind of a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
I can just kind of wing it more or less and know exactly where parts need to go and just how things work now.
So it all becomes second nature.
Yeah, I know the limits of the material and my tools and all that kind of stuff. So most of it doesn't take too long to put together. The hardest part's coming up with a design that has a nice flow across the whole thing without having like random parts pop out more than they should and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely.
So what was the most, I guess, difficult part of this build, would you say?
Easily mounting the motherboard. We literally had to destroy, I think we have some footage of that, don't we?
Oh, we've got a lot of footage of destroying the motherboard. So what happened was, in PAX, I was at Ethan's for, I think, 3 days. And so, we were working on this build for 3 days before I had to leave. So by the time I left, I'd taken a heap of footage of what we'd done. We cut out the case, we'd installed the motherboard, got the GPU ready. We'd also got all the components and everything else ready, the radiators, and sort of lined up the build on what it was gonna look like. Yeah. And then after that, Ethan added all the custom touches and did the hardline tubing, as well as all the fittings. And so I guess in total, how long did this build take to complete from start to finish, like in actual work?
In actual manpower? Probably around the 50-hour mark.
So it's about
actual work? Yeah.
50 man hours. So that's actually really good. The results.
That's pretty low end for one of my builds, to be honest.
That's actually really, really efficient. So you can see that Ethan's after doing 100 builds, it does become second nature and things like this can get complete. Now, with the 780T, what do you think of this case and working in it? Like,
this is my second modded 780T, I think. It was a 760T. Was the Zelda build. Or no, 780T was the Serenity build.
Okay.
That's what the 780T was. So I did a Serenity build for a client 18 months ago or so in the 780T. It was on a similar wavelength. We did a bunch of custom metal work to it and made it look like a Serenity ship. It was all like busted and beaten up. So with all the patchwork panels, so we did a bunch of that across it. But it's because of the freedom inside the case, it's pretty chill to work in. Because everything comes out really easy. Corsair cases are generally super modular in that respect. Yeah. Like all your 5.25 bays and all that just kind of come out. They're not a huge pain in the butt to remove. They're not permanent. They're all like modular and screwed in. They're rather than being fully riveted, so it all kind of pops out really nicely. And then beyond that, you have like this huge empty open canvas to mess around in. So it was just a matter of trying to make it look full without it looking too chaotic. Because the last thing I'm going to do is it's like putting an MRTX board in a full-size case because it looks ridiculous. But you can still it did kind of look like that, and I was worried about that looking empty, especially with the board taking up so much of the back. Because generally you put like a feature piece in the front kind of here, but you can't do that because of the motherboard, because the motherboard literally has like 70 mil from the front of the case, because it just comes all the way up.
Yeah, so it's
just
actually
room for the res.
Definitely. So we've got a total of 360 mil at the top, and then a 240 at the front. And so that really, I guess, it just adds to the whole build. The 240, is that dedicated towards the graphics card, and then the...
It's all in the one loop, so I can't actually remember how I run the pipes. So we go from RAD to GPU to the res, to the RAD, and then through both CPUs back to the RAD.
Okay, and so that is very interesting for me personally, because having a custom water loop now in the studio where I'm going to use this thing actually for streaming, and use it on the stream desk, because I've always wanted to have a dedicated streaming PC. this thing's going to be not only a symbol of Tech Yes City now, it's also going to be a real good sort of, I guess, useful PC in that.
Yeah, hopefully.
And of course, we're going to be overclocking this thing, getting the most out of it in the upcoming performance video. I'm going to be spending some quality time with this build, really extracting the most out of these X5690s and also this graphics card. I'm really looking forward to doing that. Of course, dual CPUs do have their limitations. It's no secret that they're not as, can have lag and have issues with certain games and stuff, but I'm really looking forward to using this PC. And in closing, I guess, behind the scenes, what was the most fun part of this build? I mean,
the funnest would have been the slash, I reckon, because I got to have a bit of fun with fire, a bit of fun with the angle grinder. They're like my two favorite tools.
So you did have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I always have fun. I always have fun, mate. So.
Well, naturally you want to enjoy, like when I build used PCs and stuff, like a lot of people say, oh, sometimes like in America, I didn't make much money on the builds, and people are like, oh, it wasn't even worth your time. But I said, I really enjoyed it. It's not really, it wasn't.
It's not always about the money, yeah.
Yeah, it's not always about the money. And so I'm glad to hear that Ethan's having a fun time with a lot of these PCs that he's building. And that really, like, as me having some masterpiece of his work, as well as having a Darth Jar Jar symbol here, I feel like that is a really cool way to go. Now, before we get on out of here, we're going to talk about Darth Jar Jar itself. So, now there's controversy, of course. For me personally, the whole thing on Jar Jar with Tech Yes City on the channel started when I found a mug on a used parts hunt in Japan. I was just joking around. There was 3 different flavors. I think there was a Darth Maul, an R2D2, and a Jar Jar. And you didn't know which one you got until you picked it up and opened it up.
Sure.
And so I found one on the shelves and I saw the 3 characters and I'm like, please be a Jar Jar, please be a Jar Jar. And I played that on the channels. I knew people were going to get triggered. And so after that, it was actually funny because it actually was kind of well received. People laughed at it. People knew it was a joke.
Yeah.
And I guess after that, I got the mug and I used it on my channel and people sort of took a liking to it. No one really complained. I mean, people who did complain knew it was a joke, and no one really hated it after. You know, back when Star Wars was 1999, I think Episode 1 was released, Jar Jar was just this whole like, oh, I hate him, I hate it. Like, it was just...
he nearly bankrupted a few toy companies, I think, just because of like failed toy lines, because everyone just hated Jar Jar.
It was just, and I felt sorry for the guy. I connected with him in ways.
That.
So, and that's what I feel. I feel like I connected with Jar Jar in ways, because I guess we've all been hated on some time in our lives and been in a dark place. And that's why he turned to the dark side. That's why I think he turned to the dark side. And so I was like, okay, we've got to highlight this in a custom build, give meaning to that, whatever started on the channel as a meme or a joke. We're going to give meaning to that now. And we're going to pay homage to the theory of Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah, there's a full conspiracy theory now, isn't there?
I believe it. Yeah. I think it's totally true. I read up about it and you research it. Like Episode 1, you see that jump out of the water.
And like the clumsy fighting technique and all that kind of stuff. It's been proven to be an actual, is it Chinese or Japanese martial arts? I can't remember exactly which, but...
Yeah, and I read all up. It started connecting the dots. It was definitely... And
there's too many dots, that's the thing.
There's too many dots.
Too many dots.
Too many dots. So let us know in the comments, guys, what do you think? Do you think Darth Jar Jar is real? I mean, it's real here, the PC. But what do you think about the conspiracy theory? Love reading your thoughts as always. Drop a comment.
Episode 9.
Let us know if he's coming back in Episode 9 too. But how do you feel? Like, how did you feel about Darth Jar Jar and the project as well?
Like the project? The whole Darth Jar Jar thing, I think is a good laugh. Whether they actually embrace it in the Star Wars canon, I doubt they will. I know Lucas actually had a better direction for Jar Jar, and he was hated on that much that they were just like, oh, we'll just chuck him in the Senate.
Yeah.
So just kind of get rid of him. But the project was great. It turned out a lot better than I thought it would to begin with, especially given it was more based on a joke build. I was kind of like, I don't really know how this will turn out.
Yeah.
But once we got in, especially with all the lighting really makes it pop, because there's 8 meters worth of 12 volt LEDs in here. So
yeah, we actually had a problem with that. We initially had to cut out an extra connection, and we had to change a SATA to a Molex connection. I had to solder that up, because it wouldn't run off the one Molex line itself. We're maxing that out.
Yeah, we're drawing too much
So we had
volts.
to then draw off the SATA line as well to help power these LEDs. So that was pretty cool. We did some last minute touches here at the studio before we made this video. And of course, we've got on top of the build, another really cool thing is the Tech Yes City fans as well, which adds its own custom meaning to this build. Now, they were sent over by Deepcool. I've collaborated with Deepcool. I've reviewed some of their products, some that I've liked, some that I haven't liked. But they said, because I behind the scenes, when I email them, I'm really nice to them. They asked us, we're making some custom fans. Do you really want to have your logo on it? And I said, sure. And I think some other YouTubers got it, like Hardware
pretty cool.
Unboxed, or I think some other YouTubers got their custom logos on the fans as well. And I said to myself, I had to do something special with this. It was really cool.
Yeah, of course.
They're open air fans as well. Really cool design. Like they're a unique
aluminium
fans.
yeah.
Like it's just a really unique design of the fans, and had the custom Tech Yes City logo. I knew they had to go on this build, and 360mm rad at the top. It was just, everything came together, and it was just perfect in the end.
Yeah. The whole project was pretty streamlined, which is rare. Generally things go wrong or things just don't fit, but for the most part, this build just kind of came together really smoothly.
Plus we used in the build a lot of used parts, and everything's just working out.
Everything booted straight away.
So
I was worried about the SR2 board.
Yeah,
it's got a bit of a warp in it from being transported around so much.
Yeah, it was pretty rough, but we got there in the end, and the end result I think is phenomenal. I mean, guys, let us know in the comments what you think about this PC, and what is your favorite part? Ethan loves the rear slash. I personally like this bottom bit here. It's really imperial.
Yeah.
Like it's, for me, it symbolizes that imperial look. I absolutely love it. I think it gives meaning to
What is the design from the desktop paneling?
Yeah.
That's where we took it from.
And so I just love that bottom bit. It really stands out for me. It's my favorite part of the build. And the Darth Jar Jar at the front's really cool as well. I'm in love with this build. I can't wait to be using it on the channel and showcase it for you guys. And of course, bringing up the performance video. And with Ethan with TagMods, where do we go from here? What's the next build you've got planned?
The next big build will be Metro Exodus and Far Cry New Dawn. So they're both due the 15th of Feb.
I cannot wait to see them, guys. If you guys want to check out Ethan, I'll put all the links in the description below. His Instagram, his YouTube, his Facebook. You mainly focus on Instagram and Facebook, yeah?
Yeah, they're kind of my main two. Video content is something we want to kind of start pushing a bit more. Hence the collab as well.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so we're gonna definitely put Ethan's links in the description. Go check him out, guys. Go support him. And on that note, while we're at it, I want to see Ethan collab with some big people. Like, we're not like, this is only the beginning, Darth Jar Jar. Well, I'd love to see something like, a Hugh Jackman Wolverine build, or a Chris Hemsworth Thor build. I'd love to be the guy videoing all behind the scenes and see you make their custom projects come to life. Or PewDiePie, a Brofist build.
Yeah, that would be pretty epic.
Something needs to come out of this. Like, please, Ethan's skills are phenomenal, and I think he could wide reach and make everyone happy with some awesome content. This is only the beginning. Thank you so much, man. We did a Brofist right there. And
it was like a weird...
Yeah, it's a weird one, eh? I was like, I'm gonna high five first, and then I was gonna do the Brofist up that. Hope you guys have enjoyed this series coming out of this. Stay tuned for the performance, as we said before. Hope you enjoyed the showcase, and let us know in the description, guys, what you think of it, favorite part of the build, and also just if you've been waiting for this build for a long time, I do apologize. It's taken...
It's here now.
It's over a year. It's been over a year, and I know, but like, in my defense, I have had to make the studio. I've just been so busy, and I never like to let anyone down. I always like to, and I always do keep my promises. I never like, even though this one took the longest.
Takes a while. Yeah.
Well, this was the longest of the promises. I did keep to my promise, and I did do everything involved. Anyway, guys, you want to close out anything to the audience before we get on out of this behind the scenes interview?
No, I love getting feedback from all of my builds. So just comment what you think, what you like, what you don't like as well. Because I'm always looking for ways to improve and all that kind of stuff. So come at me.
All right, guys. Ethan's links will be in the description below as well. And if this is your first time coming to Tech Yes City, you may wish to consider subscribing and turning the bell on if you want to see the videos the moment they drop, which I know you're going to want to see the performance of this thing. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And Instagram as well, Tech Yes City, where I'm posting up behind the scenes stuff all the time. Posted up behind the scenes photo of this before it was released on the channel. And with that said, I'll catch you guys in another tech video very soon. Do you want to do the honors? Peace out for now. Bye.
Peace out for now. Bye.
Absolutely amazing.